So I'm glad I get to live stream you now. You know, I can talk to you on the phone. You know, we had conversations. I heard your story. You know, I was impacted, inspired. I know you inspired a lot of millions of people. You know what you do. You know, you came a long way, and then you know you got a bump in the road.
Yeah.
So you know, I want to let everybody know, you know, from your mouth what's really going on and how you came up.
You know, I appreciate that, Anthony, you know, especially being that when you have someone like a government agency spread negative information on you, you know, it puts a whole different spin on it. Now, this is the interesting thing about when it comes to government. If you ask 10 different people about, do you trust the government? Probably 10 different people will say no. Yet when they come out and they say something negative about somebody, they go, oh my gosh, this must be something so bad about a person. Well, nothing can be further from the truth. I'm glad that this platform, you know, the Black Lives Matter there in St. Paul and in Minnesota has given me an opportunity to speak directly in regards to why you posted, what's happened with my story. So just a little background. I'm a small town country boy from Winchester, Kentucky. I was born in 1968. I'm 52 years old. I was born just a couple of months after Martin Luther King was assassinated. So I was born in the South. So my family, my parents, my grandparents, everything was very volatile during that time. And I can remember growing up in all that racial tension. And my grandfather had a hog farm. So I grew up in the country on the hog farm. We didn't have hardly anything. You know, there was times we would go around and my granddad would get the old food from the back of grocery stores and restaurants, and we pick through it and make meals out of it. So I came from nothing. And I was blessed to have some physical talent to where one day I got an opportunity, you know, through my high school efforts to go to college with Central Florida Junior College in Florida. After 2 years, I got drafted by the San Diego Padres. I played professional baseball for 6.5 years. Back in 1995, I blew my elbow out when I was with the Seattle Mariners. So I was right about to have my dream, and then I blew my elbow out. So that really hit me, Anthony, and really put shed light that when I couldn't make fans yell anymore in baseball, they didn't really care about me. When I couldn't, as long as I was entertaining, everybody loved me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense at all, you know.
Yeah, it's usually how it is, though.
You know, so when I stopped entertaining, I had to go out in the real world, and I was trying to find, you know, careers and things that I could go do. And when I would go try to interview or meet with people, there would always be a little difference because of the shade of my skin. And I was going, whoa, this seems odd. Now, I had put up with that in baseball, and it's probably why so few young black folks are playing in baseball now, because of all the racial tension and discrimination that went on in baseball for years. I had to deal with it. I had to play above and beyond my white counterparts to be able to win a job. But I was able to, you know, play above and beyond. Well, to wrap the story and bring it to why we're here today, I got injured. I got involved in direct sales. Some people know that as MLM. Why did I get involved? I didn't have any money. I didn't have any money.
That's multi-level marketing, right?
Yeah. So I didn't have the money to start a traditional business. You know, so I had a friend of mine invite me and say, hey, you can get a few products and you can go out and you can start selling these products and making some retail profit, build you a team and learn how to make residual income. I got completely infatuated with that idea to where I got pretty good at it. Now, after a year of rehab, I could have went back and played professional baseball and I would have signed a major league contract. But after a year, I wasn't making that much money in my own home-based MLM business, but I was making residual income. So even when I didn't go to work, I was getting paid. And that was different from how I was treated playing baseball. When I couldn't work, I didn't get paid. Yeah. So I started thinking a little higher, Anthony. I started thinking about our community. So the black community, the brown community, the minority community. I love all people. Yeah. I'm for all people, but I started thinking about the disadvantages of our community and what would be the likelihood of them actually climbing up corporate ladders, getting to the top of companies, owning companies. What opportunities were there for business loans? It's been proven the systemic racism in finance, in business loans, and in mortgages, and
yes, that's all around. Yeah,
yeah. So I was like, this could be something that could help the community and become an economy equalizer and level the playing field. And guess what? It happened. I started building these teams, and I think a lot of times people get caught up on the quote, get rich quick idea of MLM. And that's the wrong way to look at it. What about paying some bills on time? What about, you know, being able to make a car payment when you don't, and being able to be with your kids?
Yeah.
And being able to be with your family. So that's what I loved about it. So over the years,
financial freedom.
Yeah, I started getting, that's freedom for a lot of people. If I can meet my bills, and at the same time I can be with my family and not have to go work for somebody else,
that's the best freedom blessing you have.
Right. So I got pretty good at it to where instead of me going back and playing professional baseball, I decided to make a career building direct sales MLM.
All right, but let me stop right there, okay? Yeah. From going from baseball and be your dream for, you know what I mean, as a kid, because I used to love baseball too, you know. I wanted to be a baseball player, it just didn't work out like that.
Okay.
But, you know, from being as a kid and having that dream and then being stuck in a rock and a hard place in the middle, you know, like, do I do this or do I go back to my dream? You know, how tough was that to like take in, you know?
My roommate at the time when I was playing ball, my road roommate was Alex Rodriguez. So I'm about to play next to Ken Griffey Jr. I'm rooming with Alex Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. was my guy.
Okay, so I'm about to play next to him. You know, I've got pictures with me and Griffey together. And so I'm about to go do it. And now I'm going to go build this home-based business instead of going back. Yeah. Wow, that was hard. But here's what I figured. This is the bottom line truth. I'm like, my family and my friends, if I go be successful, it's me on the field. I can't bring them on the field with me.
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
If I go do this business, I can show other people, my family and my friends, and I can bring them on the field with me. So I took a major league attitude towards direct sales and business, and I started bringing people on the field with me. And that impacted me and made me feel more fulfilled, believe it or not, than the tens of thousands of people that used to be in the stands cheering for me. I got more out of it. So that was huge for me.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough right there. That's a tough call, but you definitely did it though.
But what ended up happening is after about 4 years, I got frustrated with the company I was with. The owner, I didn't like the integrity of the owner, so I resigned. And it was crazy when I resigned because people said, hey, why don't you just take the money? But on November 12, 1999, I made a commitment that I still live by this. I would never do anything for money first again, ever. Because I watched the greed factor. It happens not only in MLM, network marketing, in business, in sports, in Hollywood. The greed.
Yeah. It's crazy, you know, the people that you find out that are so, it's just the greedy mode, greedy mindset, you know, give me, no work type of situation, you know.
I said I'm never going to do anything for money first again. So I'm never doing it again.
Yeah. So, you know, when you find love in it, you know, that's where you can get the money. You know?
That's the money. So I ended up joining another company, and I took all the things I learned in my first 4 years. And I'm telling you, in the year 2000, I built this massive team. It just took off and exploded. But that company wasn't doing the things that they needed to do to keep up with the growth. Now, do I really blame that company? It's hard because the internet and direct sales, network marketing were just coming together. And so information was happening so fast that it was hard for companies to keep up. Yeah. But they couldn't keep up, so I resigned and I left and I started working with a different company. Well, about 3 months or so after I had left, the Federal Trade Commission, a government agency, had an issue with that company, and they ended up suing that company. And then they kind of went on a witch hunt to find any top distributors in that company, and they would name them as part of the suit. Well, they named me even though I wasn't with the company.
Yeah.
I was gone. And so they named me in the suit. And so I spent almost 2 years of my life fighting with the federal government over a company I didn't own. I never made any false claims. They didn't provide one piece of evidence in almost 2 years of anything I did wrong. Yet and I kept going, how could they do this? So in July of 2002, I reached a settlement agreement with them, but it was a settlement of no admission of wrongdoing. And the judge even said on line 7 of the agreement, this order cannot be construed as an admission of guilt. So the judge told the FTC, told everybody that this is just a settlement that basically says if I would own a network marketing company involved, I had to keep very strict compliance records and provide them access if they ever asked me during a 6-year period. So from 2002 to 2008. So I was willing to comply, and I complied with that. Well, I move on with my life. I get out there, I start building, I start growing. And then I became a co-founder of a company in 2008. So I went from distributor to co-founder. I partnered with a couple of guys in Canada, and we created one of the fastest growing companies that's ever happened. It exploded, it took off. Me and my partners, they wanted to focus on money first. Remember, I said, I'll never do anything for money first again. We got into some disagreements. We split off. I went and started my own company, and then got some staff members that wanted to focus on money first. So I split off at that. And then I finally just created a brand new company that I wanted to focus on media, not just MLM, but media marketing. So I created a company called Success by Media back in 2015. I've got what you would consider Hollywood style facilities in Las Vegas to where, film and audio, podcasting.
Oh yeah, I've seen some pictures. It looks immaculate. It definitely looks like Hollywood for sure.
That's what we were building up, not just to have an MLM. I wanted to start doing traditional lines. Well, I had some guys that had working with me on my staff. There was a white gentleman in his early 30s. He was married with 3 kids. He ended up having an affair with my assistant and wanted to leave his wife and 3 kids. And I had a no fraternization policy. I fired her. I disciplined him. He, after about 6 months of that, got sick of it. He split off, and then he went and started filing false complaints with the government. So here's a white man. So this is the reason why I wanted to do this straight up, because this is why I think this is discrimination. There's a white man that's sleeping with my white executive assistant, and I tell him no, it's wrong. He then takes the story from 2002, which I should have never been in the first place, runs to the federal government, makes up lies, gets about 25 other people to create lies. And then January the 13th this year, when I was flying back in, because I've got international business, we do business in multiple countries around the world. When I was flying back into the country, the government sued me, did a complete asset freeze on everything I built in 25 years. So everything I built got froze off of a lie from this person. The unique thing, Anthony, is they had a chance I could have answered any of their questions, because I found out they were investigating me last May when they subpoenaed my bank records. And my attorney reached out to them and said, what's going on? They said, oh, we're just doing a compliance follow-up from 2002 order. And he said, well, we got an open door policy. Whatever you want to know, Mr. Noland is open for that.
No.
They did not accept my cooperation. Instead, they went in with false information and got a federal judge, to sign an order to freeze every asset I got. Now, I've got a beautiful young lady there. That's beautiful. I got a 5-year-old too. Is that the one is that your daughter?
Yeah. That's the birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, that's beautiful. So he's got a 5-year-old. I found out from Anthony he has a 5-year-old. Yeah. I've got a 5-year-old. But Anthony, I had 2 white, sophisticated business gentlemen that worked with me in corporate. The unique thing is they came out on a public call and said, we have a black CEO and his white successful businessman. We want to let everyone know we stand side by side with him, and we want color to not be an issue. We're open. We want to be the most multicultural, multiracial company in the world. Well, guess what? Not only did they sue me, they sued my wife, who's from Latin America. She's from Colombia, brown skin, so they sue her. And then they sued the 2 white gentlemen that did publicly statements saying they support me. and they froze all their assets. And this has been since January 13th. And at the recording of this, we're in September, and we've had to rely on donations to live after we built businesses myself for over 20 plus years.
Yeah,
I'm in a full fight with the federal government over this.
And then you made a video about it too, right?
Yes, we
I
got
seen the video, the Fourth Amendment video. I'll post that link too. But you know, like having to go through that, you know, and then sitting back, you know, putting in all that hard work, dedication, you know, the struggle, the pain, you know, just building businesses, you know, and then having somebody just bald-faced lie about something that you did not do, you know, I can't imagine how you feel, you know.
Well,
but at the same time, you know, like getting your story out there is the most important thing, so people understand what's really going on in the real world, and it's not just hidden.
Well, this is what's most important to me. I could have said, hey, man, I don't want to deal with this, try to sign some kind of deal. I want out, whatever, and went on about my life and try to, because I can go out there and be successful in multiple things. But I thought about the little black boy, the little black girl, the little brown boy or girl, the minority that's looking up at people that are not professional athletes. Because see, most black and brown people think that the most chance that they have to be very successful is be what? A athlete, a rap star, an actor. But what percentage are going to really have that available? It's only a small percentage.
Yeah.
But what percentage can, if they learn how to do business and they can build a home-based business without having to put up millions of dollars, if they can learn how to do a ground level home-based business. So this is what I think, this is the conclusion I've come to. This is my opinion. MLM, direct sales, is one of the most maligned businesses in the world. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because the United States government, especially the Federal Trade Commission, they attack it so much because it creates the most equal opportunity for minorities and for women. It's a level playing field. And so I believe, this is my opinion, that they attack it so much because they don't want minorities, they don't want women to have equal opportunity. So they attack it and they malign it and they get people to say negative things. Well, I want to make a change with that. I want it to be equal opportunity for everybody. I want to inspire. You don't know how many times in some of the neighborhoods I've lived in as I built my business over the years that I've had, you know, service workers come to my home, black, brown, and they look at me. They go, "This is your house? This is your neighborhood?" I go, "Yeah." And they shake my hand, Anthony. They go, "Man, I'm so glad to see somebody that made it." So I got chills right now.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Appreciation, the hard work, you know. That's what it is, you know, and to see somebody in that position, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
And they believe, they go, "Well, if you," and I say, "If I can do it, you can do it." And they say, "Well, man, how did you do it?"
Yeah, definitely.
And you know what I've heard so many times, Anthony, is, "Well, if so many, you know, there's so many times that the system holds us down, how'd you do it?" I said, "Man, I got in an industry that they could not discriminate against me." That's why I love network marketing, MLM.
Mm-hmm.
They can't discriminate. It's just about, can you create sales volume, move products, and inspire other people to move products? And if you can do that, stay focused, you can build a life that you want. Well, I went and did that. And even though I went and did that, now I got targeted, and it's just not fair.
Yeah. No, it definitely ain't fair for sure. Yeah, I used to somebody tried to recruit me for Amway at I think it was probably like 4 years ago or something like that. I talked to a gentleman, you know, at the Starbucks. We're conducting business, you know, for a little bit. Didn't buy no products, but you know, that's just, you know, at that time it just wasn't a fit for me at that moment. But I heard that Amway did get sued by the federal government, the FTC, in like 17 something.
Like 1970s, I think it was in 1970s.
Yeah, there was, I think it was like a few times, but you know, they got out of it, and now they're worth $8 billion. You know, so you know, like I'm sure, you know, this is probably just one of them bumps in the road that you just have to overcome. And just like I said, you know, just getting the story out there and letting it be known from live, and you know, having your voice be understood by all the people, you know what I mean, that are at them moments where they're looking down on themselves, and your story can just inspire them to just lift up.
I want to. And, you know, and so what happens now is, because I've seen some of the negative comments that people make on posts, because what they do is they go Google me and they'll look, well, guess who posted it? The government, the blogger. So guess what we did? My attorneys.
The government, yeah.
Yeah, my attorneys actually last week sued the attorneys for the federal government and their attorney blogger who posted the negative things. So it's a Fifth Amendment violation. You know, I've got it up. I've got the lawsuit up in front of me, and I would send you a copy, and you can post that on the Black Lives Matter St. Paul website so people can see, okay, they said this about him, but here's what my attorneys, and my attorney before I got on here, he wanted me to state this. He said he lives in Arizona where it's the, you know, the Valley of the Sun. And he said, you tell them that one of the whitest men in the world, he said, I'm so white, I don't even get a tan in Arizona. He said, as your attorney, I'm a white, I have went through and studied this case, and I'm telling you that you have been wronged. This is foul. There are discriminatory grounds in this. And that's why he felt the need to go file a suit in federal court so that these people can be brought to justice. Because it says here, the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution provides that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process. We had our assets frozen. We didn't have any day in court to say anything. And before we could say a word, they published all these negative things trying to make us look like scoundrels. And all of it's false and lies.
Yeah, you have to let somebody know before you just touch somebody's assets, though. You know, like livelihood, you know, they don't care about none of that. The federal government is run by the federal government. The federal government doesn't care about nothing at all.
So my question is, how does my black life matter in this question? So this black CEO, how does my black life matter to this government when for 20 years they've been terrorizing me and I've been out here just trying to sell products? I haven't needed the system to give me a thing. I haven't had to depend upon the system to give me one thing. They try to say that black people, minorities are lazy. Well, guess what? I proved that's wrong. I've got a slew of other people that's proved that wrong. And guess what?
Exactly.
I'm believing with this post, there's going to be people that hear this to go, you know what? This is not right. And they will understand.
Not right.
They're hearing it right from me. This is not right, and we got to do something about it. I'm for everybody. I love everybody, and I want people to do good, and I want to see them uplifted. That's why I came on here with you today.
Yes, definitely, definitely, and that's what I want to do too, and that's why I'm definitely glad I'm talking to you right now. And that's just a stigma, though. You know, the thing about it is, like, we've been down for 400 years ever since they grabbed us from Africa. Yep. You know, so you know, us just being uplifted and uniting together as one, you know, that's a scary thing. And then especially if you're making so much money that, you know, especially in your situation as an indigenous person in some type of market that they don't really know about because it's your skin color.
Yes.
And which is crazy is this has been going on for years and years and years. And now, to be honest, like really starting to come to the light a little bit. You know, it still has a lot of opening to do, but I feel like there's a racist thing that's going on in this world, and we all have to change and just come together as one, as people, and just unite.
Yeah, unite. And you know, and I can end with this, and people go, well, why would you call it, you know, discrimination, Jay, whatnot? Well, there's so many things that's happened in this case. I put my hands up and said, don't shoot business-wise. I'm willing to cooperate. What would you like to see? They created false numbers when I would have gave them everything that they wanted to see. They got an expert witness that's from Hamlin University, Stacey Bosley there at Hamlin University.
I was gonna bring that up too.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
She went in the courtroom, in a federal courtroom, and they asked her about some articles she's done on the KKK. And they asked her, what are you doing there? And she said, many people are intrigued by the KKK. She's the key witness against me. So the government's expert witness said in a federal courtroom on transcripts, you can read it. She says, I've studied them because many people are intrigued by the KKK. Anthony, are you intrigued by the KKK?
No, never been.
Is anybody, any of these viewers that are going to watch this, are you intrigued by the KKK? You know, they talked about at my events, I do big seminars. In the lawsuit, they go, he plays loud music and dancing at his seminar.
What's your biggest seminar you did?
I mean, I've had them into thousands of people before, you know. We've
That's
had,
nice.
we filled up the MGM Grand before with one of my companies. We had over 15,000 people with one of my other companies. We actually had Prince do a personal concert for us.
Oh man, that had to be nice, beautiful.
You know, so for me to be a small town country boy, to see things grow like that, and then to get maligned like this, you know, we're fighting. We need people to support. You know, I don't have access to any of my assets. None of my business partners do. And if anybody can help us out, we'll never forget it. You know, we will remember it. We do need support to fight this, because when we win this, I'm not just stopping here. I want to help other people. I want to give back. I don't want another person to ever feel what I'm feeling or what I've been seeing happening with our government, especially against Black and brown people. It's not right. They think they can get away with it because they've been getting away with it. It can't happen any longer.
Exactly. You're definitely right. And that's why I fight so hard every day, you know, because leaving something to my family is important, you know. So, and you never want to be stuck in a position where when you're helpless, you know, trying to provide and understand why this is going on. But you always go through trials and tribulations in life, you know. So just overcoming that's going to just make you a stronger man, and, you know what I mean, a stronger businessman. And yeah, it's going to be a beautiful thing when this overcomes, for sure.
I thank you guys for having the courage to, you know, share our story, get our voice out there. And again, you know, we just want everybody to understand that in this situation, in this country that's supposed to be about the Constitution, where we're supposed to have rights and all people are supposed to be equal. If a Black life doesn't matter, well then how can that be? If a brown life doesn't matter, how can that be? If a yellow life doesn't matter, how can that be? If a white life doesn't matter, how can that be? And so I think so many people get confused when they hear the term Black Lives Matter. Well, we want
we never counted. We never counted from the beginning. You know, look at how they treated us back in the day. You know, we couldn't even go drink a water fountain. We couldn't go in certain bathrooms. You know, and I'm half white, but you know what I mean. I have, you know, my uncle was an older slave. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I know his stories, you know, and things like that, and my uncles. And so, you know, just overcoming that, and then coming from now where it's still happening, but on a lower level, as far as like it's not publicly wise where we're getting hung on trees, as far as we know. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like we overcame so many things, not to be able to sit on a bus, you know, not be able to speak at certain places, and then still having it come around at the same time after 400 years. Still, it's frustrating, you know what I mean? It's definitely frustrating. And then targeting people that are actually successful to try to run them down to the ground.
That's what's happening to me. I get to have success. They try to target me. My grandfather, when you talk about that, in my town in Winchester, my grandfather used to say, "You see that building right there?" He goes, "It's just a few years." When I was a little boy, he goes, "We can't go drink water in there. We can't go to the bathroom."
Yeah.
My grandfather told me that, you know. So there, I mean, I've seen what's going on, and all I'm saying is, I don't want the message to get mixed up. You know, there's a lot of different organizations that have different beliefs. I think the thing that needs to be focused on here is everybody in this country should have equal opportunity. That's it. Well, I appreciate you taking the time with me on here, man. I thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you so much.
Nice talking to you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.